She's back. Neve Campbell is returning to the role of Sidney Prescott in Scream 5. Hey folks, how you doing? Dave McRae here. That's right, as of today, Thursday, September the 10th, 2020, she is officially returning to the role of Sidney Prescott in Scream 5. Bloody Disgusting dropped the bomb officially earlier this afternoon. They were the first to do it. They had the exclusive story. Now, obviously, since then, others have picked up the story, but they were the first. Now, this has been in the works for some time. You don't call them up, be like, hey, Nev, you want to be in the movie? And say, oh, yeah, you do? Okay. Hey, everybody, Nev's in the movie. I mean, these conversations have been ongoing for probably several months. There's contract negotiations. There's rules and regulations. There's logistics of what's going to be in the contract. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this. So if if you were her best friend or somebody that was close to her, you would have known that she's been back for quite some time. But nonetheless, it was made official today, which means she signed on the dotted line probably fairly recently, maybe within the last week or so. Pretty cool stuff. I mean, Neve Campbell is definitely, it's not like Jamie Lee Curtis, right? I mean, she is the Laurie Strode of the Scream franchise, but it's not the same because there have been like half the Halloween movies don't have Jamie Lee Curtis in it and half do. We've never had a Scream movie without Neve Campbell. I think we could get a Scream movie that didn't have Courtney Cox or David Arquette. You would notice their absence, but they aren't the main protagonist. Even though Scream has largely been a little bit of an ensemble piece, Neve Campbell's Sidney Prescott is clearly the final girl. She is clearly the main protagonist. And since we have never had a movie without her, I think you would notice her absence big time. Now, there are still some people that are a little like, I don't know, Wes Craven's not returning. It's definitely going to have a little bit of a different feel, but hopefully it will be in the spirit of what Wes Craven started. We're going to look at the Bloody Disgusting article here in a second. But I have some thoughts. I mean, I'm very skeptical. I liked Scream 1. I thought it was a great standalone film. I enjoyed the second one, didn't like the third one, liked the first bit of it, but really didn't like where it went and what the big picture was and, the whole explanation of everything. I really didn't like that. I thought it was a cop-out. Scream 4 I enjoyed it better than 3. But again, I mean, it was largely forgettable for me at the end of the day. So I'm very curious on what they're going to do for Scream 5. I don't want it to be chintzy. I don't want it to be, I get that you're probably going to have to bring modern technology into it. Nobody's really talking on landlines anymore. I mean, Christ, hardly anybody's talking on their cell phones anymore. I mean, if you follow me, you know I've said that. These aren't phones. These are pocket computers that just so happen to make phone calls. But how often are you really, hey man, what's going on? Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, you're very rarely doing that. We're doing this all day. Yeah. I mean, very rarely are we on the phone. So even like phone calls are beginning to look weird in some movies. Not quite yet, but I think you know the point I'm trying to make, right? But at the same time, I don't want them to go too far into virtual territory or like Zoom or Skype or TikTok, or I don't want it to become like this little teeny bopper horror movie. It still needs to be smart and witty and smart, So I do have a little worry on that. Or I do have some worries on that, I should say. I don't know. And I do have a thought that I will present to you after we read the Bloody Disgusting article that I think actually is worth exploring. I mean, I don't know. And not everybody's going to like it. Dave, that's stupid. No. And then some people might be like, I don't know. I'll talk about what that is in a second here. But let's go over to the Bloody Disgusting article. And here it is. Neve Campbell is back as Sidney Prescott in Spyglass and Paramount's Scream relaunch, exclusive from Bloody Disgusting. And there is Sidney Prescott herself. Look at that face. See that face right there? You know what that face says? It says, I'm back. I'm back, bitches. I'm fucking back. I'm taking names and I'm kicking ass. I'm back. That's what that says. It's not a Scream movie without Neve Campbell, I agree. And we're excited to exclusively report today that the actress has signed on to reprise her iconic role as Sidney Prescott in Spyglass Media Group and Paramount Pictures' upcoming relaunch of the Scream film franchise. Campbell, of course, played the franchise's leading lady in all 4 of Wes Craven's Scream movies, and it'd be downright impossible to imagine Ghostface's return without her. It is kind of true to some degree. Campbell joins previously announced legacy cast members David Arquette and Courtney Cox, who will return as Dewey Riley and Gale Weathers, as well as new cast members Jack Quaid from The Boys, Melissa Barrera from In the Heights, and Jenna Ortega from You. Scream is being directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin, I think that's how you pronounce that, and Tyler Gillette of the filmmaking group Radio Silence, Ready or Not, VHS, from a screenplay by James Vanderbilt, Murder Mystery, Zodiac, The Amazing Spider-Man, and Guy Busick, Ready or Not, Castle Rock. Radio Silence said in a statement today, "We're pinching ourselves. It's hard to express how much the character Sidney Prescott shaped our love of movies, and to have the chance to work with Neve is truly a dream come true. It just wouldn't be a Scream movie without Neve, and we're so excited and honored to join her in Woodsboro." Ooh, so I guess they are going back to Woodsboro. A little bit of a, well, it's not a spoiler, but a little bit of insight into what to expect, maybe? Interesting. Neve Campbell herself gave her blessing to the project. Quote, "After spending time speaking with Radio Silence, they have shown such love, respect, and admiration for Wes Craven and all that he's created in the Scream franchise. I am beyond excited to step back into the role of Sidney Prescott and return to Woodsboro. The production will shoot in Wilmington, North Carolina." Ooh, another horror movie shooting in Carolina. Tax breaks, yeah. That's all right. Franchise creator Kevin Williamson and the third member of the Radio Silence trio, Chad Villela, are executive producing with Project X Entertainment's Vanderbilt, Paul Neinstein, and William Chirac serving as producers. Spyglass and Paramount Pictures will release the film worldwide on January 14th, 2022. And there's a little picture there from Scream 4, I believe. So there you have it, folks. It is official. She's back. But the real question is, where do you go from here? You know, I thought the original Scream was fantastic. I thought it's a great standalone movie in its own right, and it didn't need a sequel. I know. If you follow me on a regular basis, you think nothing needs a sequel. That's because a lot of movies don't need sequels. But I love how Scream had the balls to end. I love that they had the balls to end Scream on no cliffhanger. There was no cliffhanger. None. The original Scream does not end with any like, oh, somebody's coming out of the closet. Oh, somebody's eyes just opened. No. Oh, there. No. No, it just ends. It ends. Has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It was great. But I don't know where you go from here, where you're not just repeating yourself. And what role is Neve Campbell, Sidney Prescott, and Dewey and Gale? What are they going to have? Is this a passing of the torch? You know, is this like a la the Star Wars sequel trilogy kind of thing? I mean, I think most fans want them to be the central characters, but do you make them the central characters? Shouldn't you be planning for the potentiality of their exit? Do you kill off Dewey and Gale? I would be okay with that. Do you kill off Sidney? Ooh, is that horror royalty blasphemy? I mean, is that like, do we know? I don't know. I posted on social media today just an idea that came to my mind. Some people, I think, find it interesting. Others probably thought I was being satirical, and I'm really not. I'm actually just kind of tossing it out there as something interesting to think about. And, you know, when you read it, you might be like, no. But, you know, if you really think about it, I mean, maybe there's something there. Because, or do we just, again, do the same fucking thing we've been doing? Oh, there's a new set of kids that get a real interest in horror movies, and they want to start killing people, and they're interested in Sidney Prescott and how she's the only survivor, and with Gale and Dewey, and then they start killing people in Woodsboro again, and Sidney and Gale and Dewey are lured back into it again. I mean, it's just we know how this is gonna go. You know, there's got to be something, and I trust that they know this. I trust that we're not just going to do essentially Scream 4, but now another 10 years later, you know what I mean? And now it's Sydney's daughter that's in trouble, you know, or something, or Dewey's son, you know. I don't know. I just think I want them to take risks, but I don't want them to sacrifice, you know, the DNA of the Scream franchise, obviously. I mean, that's important, but I do think there is a little bit of wiggle room that you can introduce some interesting angles or story elements to it without sacrificing the DNA of Scream. And I think that's important because I don't think any of us wants to see just Scream 4 again, but now with like Zoom, you know what I mean? Or something like that. I mean, we want to see something that brings a fresh perspective to the series while still keeping the DNA there. And I'm okay with a little bit of fan service. I'm okay with that. I think if it's done right, fan service is okay. Anyway, so here's what I said on my social media today. I said, and again, I was just tossing it out there. It's not the gospel, people. I just said, what if in Scream 5, you discover the voice on the phone has always been someone different than Ghostface? Because you see, in the Scream movies, the voice on the phone is always supposed to be the eventual killer, right? And sometimes, you know, we see them and they got like, you know, the voice changer and they're like, hey, what's going on? And it never really sounds exactly like Ghostface, obviously, because it isn't. It's a different actor that's doing that. So it's kind of interesting. So what if this guy, whoever he is, right? Whoever this voice is, right? But he's an actual person. He's not anybody that's been doing the killing. What if he's been pulling the strings the whole time, indoctrinating people to do his dirty work? In Scream 5, he finally puts on the costume, chasing down the original three to an epic final battle. If that was presented to me in the writer's room, I would go, interesting. Okay. Now, obviously, you can make that a fucking shit show. You can turn that idea into a shit show, or you can turn it into something interesting, right? That's the basic premise. But there's other things you need to build upon that with, right? It's just interesting to me, and it's different, and you could bring it all home in an epic conclusion. Now, obviously, they likely don't want a conclusion. They want this to be the rebirth of a new franchise, which tells me that Sydney and Dewey and Gale are not likely to keep going on and on and on. They're likely to be in this movie to pass the torch, and maybe that was also in their contracts. Come back for Scream 5, we'll do a passing of the torch a la Han Solo and, whatever, right? And away you go, because... is Neve really going to continue to go on and on for another 3 or 4 movies? I mean, Jesus, I'd fucking move. I'd move to the other side of the world. I wouldn't stay close to Woodsboro. And maybe she hasn't. Maybe she's just lured back in by all this. Who knows? But I don't know. That was my idea, that just came to me off the top of my head. There's probably other ideas that could come to me as well. I want you to comment below and let me know what you think of this news, first of all, that Neve Campbell is back, but comment below and let me know your thoughts on the direction you want them to go in Scream 5, the direction you think they should go in to preserve the longevity of the franchise. Listen, Scream is, you know how I think about this kind of stuff, right? It's inevitable. The longer you go on and on and on, it's inevitable that the movies will become shittier and shittier and shittier. That's just, that's an inevitability. However, there's kind of starting fresh from a certain point of view. So you may be able to get, 2 or 3 new movies here that might not be too bad. Well, what do you want to see from this? Do you want Neve to just go on? Do you want Gale and Dewey to go on? Do you want them to kick the bucket? Do you want a passing of the torch? What do you want Scream 5 to be? What do you think it should be? What can it be that's new and different, but that still preserves the integrity of the DNA of the Scream franchise? Comment below and let me know. I really want to know. Anyways, folks, that's going to do it for me. My name's Dave McRae. Comment below and let me know your thoughts. If you want to follow me on Facebook, you can at facebook.com/manythingsdavemcrae. That's where I tend to post in the meantime and in between time when I'm not posting here. All my links are in the description. Links to my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram, my official website, my IMDb. It's all down there. Check them out until your heart's content. And when your heart is content, check them out again. Alrighty, folks, that'll do it for me. In the meantime and in between time, I will talk to you soon. Cheers.